former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf, former FBI agent, Fox News contributor Nicole Parker, Fox News contributor Paul Mauro. Nicole, start with you. What I see is very clear. I see somebody not listening to law enforcement, backing up, accelerating right into an ICE agent. What do you see?
What I see is a vehicle being used as a deadly force weapon. And that, in my opinion, based on my training, deadly force is justified. Let me make something very clear. No law enforcement officer, and particularly federal agent, wants to have to deploy and utilize their firearm in the line of duty. When you are doing that, you know that you have no other choice and that you are literally defending your life or the life of others. And it's very important for the viewers to understand that, for instance, the DOJ deadly force policy says that you believe that your life or a life of another person, the subject is posing an imminent danger of death or serious physical injury to yourself, to another officer, or to others. And again, the deadly force policy is very particular. We are trained on it like over and over and over, Sean. That's one of the things that's emblazoned in my mind. That's the one thing, every single operation, you review the deadly force policy prior to executing any sort of operation. We are trained on deadly force legal training. We are trained on firearms training, defensive tactics training, less than lethal force training. We literally would go before a legal panel and we would go through scenarios over and over with fake firearms with lasers on them, and we had to justify what we did, and they would play scenarios out on a film in front of us, and we had to stand in front of that video and act it out as if it was real. So let me make one thing very clear. These agents are very highly trained. It is not your first option to have to use deadly force, but when there is a vehicle coming at you and it is being used as a weapon, deadly force is justified. And they're going to be looking at the totality of the circumstance. It is very easy for a politician to get out there and say, that was wrong, that was not justified. That is inappropriate. It is wrong for them to do that. Let the FBI conduct their investigation, and they will look at the reasonableness of the agent at the time that it occurred. Everything comes down to the perspective of the agent. Did they believe that their life or someone else's life was in danger of death or serious physical injury? And that is what it will be based on. And again, let me make something else very clear. It's all about action versus reaction. And it's very easy for people to criticize. But until you have had a deadly force weapon come barreling at you like a vehicle, or you have had someone fire a gun at you, you are not in the position to make a judgment call on this. And you need to leave it up to the FBI to conduct the full investigation.
Chad Wolf, maybe you can expand on what Nicole's saying in terms of the training. And we've had these other incidents, as Christy No mentioned earlier today, of vehicles used as weapons and ramming into ICE agents.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, threats to ICE agents are up 100%, right? You have rocks and bricks being thrown at them. You have a sniper in Texas who was taking shots at him. So if you're an ICE agent and you go into a sanctuary city, you understand the threats that are against you. You know that local politicians don't want you there. You know that the local police department is not going to support you. And so you have all of this, and then you have an incident like you have today, and you're quickly outnumbered by individuals there in the community. And so you really do have to look at the totality of the circumstances that are surrounding these incidents. And in this case, you clearly have someone who is not adhering to the officer's commands, right, is obstructing, is doing a variety of different things. So it's a very difficult situation that these ICE officers have to go into, particularly when you have a mayor like Mayor Fry and Governor Walz who are just fanning the flames with their rhetoric and really their nonsensical description and words today. None of what they said is true. It doesn't make any sense. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of people see that and they believe it. And then they go out and they do what they did today.
Yeah, let's get your take, Paul Mauro.
Well, obviously, the totality of the circumstances applies here. We don't know some of what went on during the entire day. According to the reporting, this person who was the victim of the shooting was apparently harassing and impeding ICE all day. Well, that's a federal crime, and look at it in context. If she has, in fact, been doing that, now she's blocking their forward progress when they're actually trying to leave. You know, it's ironic. They want everybody out. They want ICE and all the feds out of their neighborhoods. Well, here they are trying to leave, and she's blocking them. And in that context, when they tell her, get out of the car, she then backs up and accelerates forward. And social media can parse
towards an agent
as finely as they want. Yeah, towards an agent. And the thing is, you can freeze frame it. You can go forward a frame. Oh, here she seems to turn to the right. The bottom line is that agent had about a quarter of a second to make a decision. And when he made that decision, that car was accelerating towards him. And as far as the leaders in that neighborhood go, in that city, in that state, how many times in the past have any of them done anything to try to dial the rhetoric down? Have any of them ever said just this simple statement, stop attacking ICE? Had they done that, they'd have a lot more credibility now.
Paul Mauro, thank you. Nicole Parker, thank you. Chad Wolf, thank you. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.